One organization focused on giving domestic violence service providers across Texas tools to better serve our communities is the Texas Council on Family Violence. Our next guest, Tabetha Harrison, is their Coordinated Community Response Manager. Tabetha, welcome to In Focus Texas.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Your organization just released their annual Honoring Texas Victims report, and this report documents lives lost due to domestic violence here in the Lone Star State. Highlight the top findings of your 2024 report.
Well, unfortunately, there were 161 Texans lost this year to domestic violence-related homicide. That's too many. We know these crimes are predictable and preventable. Also, in the findings, we noticed that roughly 85 to 87% of the perpetrators did have a history with law enforcement and with the criminal justice system. And we also had a finding that unfortunately is very much like previous years. 70% of those that were killed with a firearm.
It's hard to hear these statistics. The honoring of the Texas Victims Report also profiles some of those Texans that died in domestic violence incidents. What can we learn through those stories?
We talk a lot about the statistics, and since our release date last week, I've been asked a lot about statistics, so I love your question. One of the pivotal pieces of the Honoring Texas Victims Report is the narrative portion that goes along with it. And in that narrative portion, we detail every victim that we identified, the circumstances surrounding them being lost, as well as, if available, some personal things about them to humanize people. It's not just statistics, it's Texans, it's family, friends, neighbors, and there's no community, age group, or demographic that isn't touched by this crime.
Wow. How does that information that you collect in your annual report help shape public policy and aid those who provide domestic violence services?
So from lawmakers to advocates to law enforcement, our report can assist in any number of ways. I mean, it does give that data that can be looked upon as something tangible to base future tactics and future funding choices off of. We also are able to provide that data to different advocacy programs and local programs so that they can go to their local governments and say, these are the problems we're facing and this is where we really need your help.
And give us examples of some of the wins domestic violence advocates saw at our state legislature this year.
We are thrilled that the governor's office is going to be having a 2-year-long domestic violence homicide task force. We're hoping that our data from HTV this year, as well as our other bodies of data and our ongoing data collection, will be able to shape some of the decisions being made at those tables so that survivors are safer whenever they are getting out of violent situations. And we're going to prevent, hopefully, some of those homicides from happening so we have less people to write about in the future.
Give us insight on the organizations that are part of the Texas Council on Family Violence.
We have organizations who are member organizations around the state. We are the only statewide coalition here in Texas, so I'm very happy to be a part of that. So we assist individual agencies in large jurisdictions, small jurisdictions, big to small. We assist them with helping them to find different ways to utilize their resources effectively, as well as providing training and research insights. We have added to our domestic violence high-risk teams this year, 3 new teams. We've got teams now in McAllen, in Harris County, and also in El Paso. That's expanded our reach. That's in addition to the 7 domestic violence high-risk teams that we already had operating throughout the state. So that, in combination with all of the other victim services agencies, make up a wide spectrum of solutions to the problem.
It's good to know that we have those resources across the Lone Star State. What tools do these organizations use to be able to reach those vulnerable communities here in Texas?
Agencies get very creative, and that's sort of the beauty behind it. We have organizations that have mobile health units that go out into the community and often identify domestic violence injuries in that way. We have organizations that have mobile advocacy, that they go out with law enforcement on domestic violence calls. Most of them, if not all of them, have 24-hour hotlines. They have advocates, they have counseling services, and we do have many shelters throughout the state.
Tabetha, thank you.
Thank you.